Hello, and welcome to the crystal gazing class. One of the ways that I've been shown how to use crystals is in the form of using crystals like they're a mirror. Really anyone can crystal gaze. They just need to get out of their own way. Crystal gazing can be done by anyone, and you don't have to be some special kind of a seer in order to do it. And crystal gazing has been something that I think through the years has turned into some sort of like people think that crystal gazing is only for fortune telling. And you would see like gypsies on the side of the road, people just telling you your fortunes and everything like that. And crystal gazing is much, much more, and it can be done by anybody. You don't have to be special in order to do it. You just need to learn how to use the muscle and learn how to work with the crystals. And the crystals can help you so much when you're doing the crystal gazing. They work like almost like an oracle deck would work. They literally can really help you try to like figure out, like if you're going through like a problem or going through something in your life and you want to get answers or try to figure out how to like move through something. They work very well to help you with any type of shadow work, something to help you figure out what it is that you need to look at. The crystals will show you. And or if you need to overcome some sort of an obstacle, it just takes a little bit of practice. And so I'm just going to go through the basics of crystal gazing. You can use any type of crystal quartz for crystal gazing. Now, I suggest that you use, it can be like a rose quartz, a smoky quartz. It can be any type of quartz. The only thing that you really want for crystal gazing is something that's not too clear. So like it wants to have like inclusions and cloudiness and stuff like that in it. So like I'm just gonna show you a couple. See how these they have like all kinds of like imperfections. The Lemurian crystals work really well because they're not pretty, and they're not like just like very clear and everything like that. There's all kinds of stuff happening inside these crystals. I'm just going to show you a few. This one is very cloudy, but you can still kind of see things with the crystal. This one is from the Arkansas quartz mines. It's not necessarily a Lemurian crystal, but there's tons of inclusions. You can see there's cloudiness. This one's a little bit clearer. This one's a Lemurian crystal. One way that you can really tell a Lemurian crystal is it'll kind of have this whole like bunchy thing at the end, and it'll come up to a point like this, and it has all the sides with the little lines on them. This one's another one from the Arkansas mine. I have another little one. It doesn't have to be big, huge crystals to crystal gaze. And then, of course, I have my big one, and you can crystal gaze with that. But see how it has imperfections in it, and it's not, like, very clear, but it is clear enough to see and do crystal glazing with. You wouldn't really want to use an amethyst, because see how an amethyst, it's very hard to look in and see anything. It's just got too much going on, unless you had an amethyst that was kind of like this. Then you can use it, like, because it's got purple in it. If you've got like a point or something, an amethyst point would work. But the things that don't really work are crystals like this one. Wouldn't really work all that well. It would be hard to see everything inside of it. red jasper. I have a red jasper ball here. It's a little bit dusty, but like, it's really hard to see through it. It's got its own formations on it, and I guess you could crystal gaze by looking at the formations on it, but it's definitely not really easy to use. And like, I don't know, kyanite really wouldn't work for crystal gazing. So you really want something that's more quartz oriented. And you don't really have to spend a lot of money doing that. Now, you can also use a crystal ball, but you really want to make sure that the crystal ball is actually made of crystal and it's not made of glass. The way that you can tell is if your crystal ball, I don't have one on me, if you put your crystal ball on a piece of paper with words on it, and if you look through it and it magnifies the words, then it's made of glass and it's not made of crystal, and it just won't work for crystal gazing. And so I just wanted to like go over that little bit apart. And when incorporating water and fire with the crystals, one can get very amazing results. And crystal gazing can be done by yourself or in a group. When you're doing them in a group, it's very helpful because you can get another person might see something in the crystal that you wouldn't see because you're trying to like get a certain result or whatever. And so it's very helpful to do them in a group setting. Crystal gazing can be a lot of fun, and at the same time it can help you grow and heal and overcome your deepest wounds and fears. I started crystal gazing after spending time in meditation next to my special place in the forest near the stream, near the river. I was deep in meditation, and I ended up astral traveling to the inner earth city of light, called Avalon. Avalon is the one that's near the stream where I'm actually like sitting near here in Ireland. And I was taken deep into Avalon, and there was some women there. I was shown like this scene, and there was some women in the water, standing in the water. And at first I thought they were like washing their clothes when I was at first glance looking through. But they weren't. They were actually picking up crystals and they were putting them into the water, and they were crystal gazing. They were searing in the water. And I was shown that one of my aspects from Lemuria, my aspect Alana, she was there, and she showed me that back in the times of Lemuria, I used to go out to the river and the water and the streams and place the crystals in, and I used to crystal gaze. And so I thought to myself, why not try it? It's not going to hurt to try. And if I was able to do this back when I was in the times of Lemuria, maybe they were showing me that I can do this now. And so I took the crystals that I had, because I just so happened to have, whenever I went down to the stream, I would always bring, for meditation and stuff, I would always bring my bum bag full of my crystals. So I took my crystals into the water and I started taking photos of them with my phone. And I went back home and I went into my computer and I put my photos in and I looked at the photos and I was like, whoa, there is so much information that's inside of these crystals. And since then, I have been crystal gazing on a regular basis, and I have been using them in my private sessions. And also, I have started to create a crystal gazing oracle deck from all of the crystals that I've been taking during my private sessions, or when I'm crystal gazing for myself, or crystal gazing for the collective. And I hope that someday I will be able to publish them in the near future. So the only way that I can really show you how crystal gazing works is to sit here and show you some of the photos of some of the ones that I was taking and what I was going through in my life at the time when I was taking the photos. So we're going to move into crystal gazing session number 1. And the day that these photos were taken, I was just after crashing from lack of exercise and not eating properly to keep my energy levels balanced. And I had gone through 3 weeks without going for a walk and was very irritable and not really able to even put a sentence together that had any meaning anyway. I couldn't even make simple decisions and just was at a tipping point to really sliding into a depression. I was very anxious and felt unwanted by all around me, including my family and my close friends. After looking at all of these photos I took during one crystal gazing session, so you can actually see through all of these images how I got back on track and how crystal gazing really works. So before, when I'm showing you all these photographs, always look into the red circle where I have put a red circle around the area that I'm talking about, so that you can actually kind of go in on the image and see what I'm looking at. So at first glance in photo number 1A, I noticed there is a person walking through a very cloudy time. The legs up to the chest are in the cloudy area, and there is a wall in front of this person, which is not allowing forward movement. Looking up behind the head, there seems to be a rough icy patch. The top of the head is very clear, and if the person could just get over the wall, the path forward looks clearer, although there are little bumps along the way. What this says to me is that I am in a fuzzy or cloudy position in my life and feeling like there is a wall in front of me. Although I am off balance right now, the future looks clear for me, with not too much resistance once I get past the wall, or once I get back on track with my body alchemy. It is impossible for me at this time to move forward, as I am not holding the light vibration at the moment. So now we'll move to photo number 1B. There is a being or a guide up in the clear part of the area near the top of the wall. The being seems to be beaming light infusion into the third eye of the person. What I think this means is that my guides are helping me through this time by infusing light into me to help me focus and redirect my energy to more of a balanced and alchemized state of being, so that I can once again hold the heralds of light vibration and go on with my mission as a way shower of freedom. Moving on to photo number 1C. In the water on the right-hand side of the crystal, there is a silhouette of a person holding the person in the crystal. This reminds me that even when I am feeling alone and unwanted, that I am always being held. And then photo number 1D. In the water, there is a face of what looks like a wolf or a fox. When looking into the meaning of a wolf, there is an indication that the person in the crystal may be feeling threatened or has a lack of trust in someone or themselves. The fox meaning speaks about trickster energy or seeing through deception. This really spoke to me, as I was feeling deceived and tricked by someone. I had a quantum session with a person recently. She had given me a private session, and I told her that she could put it up on her YouTube channel after I edited out private information, that she needed to give me a couple of weeks before I was ready to do so, as I wanted to integrate and process the session before the whole world would be listening to it. I was very surprised 2 days later to find the whole unedited, the whole session unedited on her YouTube channel. It actually took me by surprise. I had a brief panic attack, and I felt like she deceived and tricked me by posting it without editing or waiting until I was ready. I question whether I can trust this person going forward. And what she had done was she basically just put a photograph in front of it and took and then just kept every single private thing on it, and it was put onto the YouTube channel. And this really hurt. I don't know why a person would do that. Why they would, I did tell her that she had permission to do it, but I did say I wanted to edit it first. And she didn't do that for me. So I don't trust this person anymore. And I will not have another session with this person because that's not an integrity to do that to somebody. Because these sessions are private. And if I did a session for somebody and they did give me permission to put it up onto my channel so that people could see what a session was like, I would definitely take out private information, and I would definitely get their permission and make sure that they were comfortable with it before I put it up for the whole world to see and look at. Okay, so now we're going to move on to photo number 2A. And at the top of this crystal, I see a woman sitting in the water, cleaning herself. And behind her in the water, there are little sprite fairies playing around her. What I learned from this is there is a need for me to do some ritual type of cleanse, and that my fairy friends are always there waiting to play with me, to remind me to have fun and to not take life so seriously all the time. Moving on to photo 2B. I see a woman holding herself while a tiny light being adjusts her head. This tells me I need to do my own self-care, and that when I help myself, there are always light beings or guides to come in to assist me, and that I'm not alone. We move on to photo number 3A. What I see here is a person trying to swim. The person is swimming through choppy water and literally can't swim any farther as she is being stopped by a thick icy wall. This shows me that I shouldn't force myself to go further, and when I hit a wall of ice, I should wait for it to melt before proceeding, to listen to my body and what it is telling me. Rest if I feel the need, and just be patient with myself. And then moving on to photo number 4A. In this crystal, I see very clearly a woman inside a healing chamber. This reminds me to take some time in my healing chamber to rejuvenate and recalibrate my body and light body. Moving on to photo number 5A. I clearly see a person with their solar plexus totally lit up, holding a butterfly that has landed on her hand. This reminds me of one of my favorite paintings by Josephine Wall called Flight to Freedom. What this says to me is that it's up to me to free myself. No one else can do it for me. I need to stand up and brush myself off and just get on with it. Photo number 6A. In the water, right behind the crystal, is what looks like an albatross bird. When looking up the meaning of albatross, I found that
These birds represent grace and peace of mind with emotions and attachments of the mind. I was actually dealing with some emotions around the fact that a dear friend of mine was unable to be there for me during this stressful time, and I realized that I was codependent on her for my peace of mind. The albatross came in to remind me that I can find peace within myself, and there is no need to attach to another for this type of support because it only leaves me codependent on others. Moving on to photo number 6B. In the water, there is an image of a gorilla. When looking up the meaning, gorillas laugh, cry, love, and grieve. Unlike humans, gorillas do not hide what they feel from the other members of the troop. Part of gorillas' wisdom involves knowing how to tap into deep feelings and avoid suppressing emotions as they arise. I feel like the gorilla came to remind me not to suppress my feelings and emotions around the codependency that I have with my friend. Photo number 6C. There is a woman dancing in the crystal. I feel like it reminds me to stretch, move, and dance. Possibly even learn Tai Chi to help me move the build-up and blocked energy in my body. Photo number 7A. This one is very much like the one in 6C, except this person is stretching, which is the last one that I just showed you. This person is stretching. I feel like it's a reminder of the message that I need to incorporate yoga, Pilates more into my self-care routine. This is something that I used to do and I haven't done in a very long time, and my guides have been urging me and stressing this in so many different sessions, and I've been being shown so many different times that I could be out of the pain that I'm in if all I did was just do the yoga and the stretching and started to do some kind of dance, Tai Chi type movements. In photo number 8A, this is another image of a person dancing. Again, another reminder that I need to do some form of dance or Tai Chi, some kind of movement with my body to move the energy. And then moving on to photo number 11A, I see a ram holding up the crystal in the water. This ram is associated with creative and decisive force. The spiral of the horn is a symbol of great creativity. A relationship given more emphasis because it is associated with the head in the case of the ram. So the ram signifies new stimulation of mental faculties, imagination, and inspiration, along with the energy to act upon it. The ram represents the power to penetrate, overcome, and achieve. It reflects the assertion of strength in creative ways to achieve a breakthrough. It is also associated with sacrifice. I feel like the ram is reminding me to spend my time creating and writing all the information that is coming through for me at this time. To just go for it without worrying about the outcome, like whether I'm going to have this book published or whether I'm supposed to be teaching these classes, or even this class that I'm doing here today. This is something that they've been showing me to do, to start making little mini classes about all these different things that I have been learning to show to the world, and they really want me to start just doing it. So after looking at all of these photos I took during one crystal gazing session, you can see how all of the images showed me how to get back on track. This is how crystal gazing works.
So in crystal gazing session number 2, this time I decided to crystal gaze using fire instead of water. I had been going through some attachment and codependent issues between myself and a friend. We had come too dependent on each other to the point where my friend felt the need to try to make me do her modality in her way instead of allowing me to actually do what it is the way that felt right for me in my own unique way. And I had been struggling with how to let go and just do my own thing, my own way. My friend was being nice by helping me get the certification, but I was in two minds as to whether I really wanted to go forward with it, or even whether I wanted this type of certification or not. I needed to make a decision, as it was keeping me up at night, tossing and turning. I didn't want to hurt her, but at the same time, wanted to detach and just be me. I needed to do my thing, and she needed to do hers. The crystal gazing helped me make the proper decision and helped me detach. I needed to stand in my own power and speak my truth, and not be codependent on others.
Photo number 1. In this image, there is distinctly what looks like as two separate paths that overlap each other, indicating to me that even though we are both on two different paths, somehow we are meant to cross each other and work together on a common goal, but in our own ways. Acknowledging that we are both on a path of enlightenment and that we both do it in our own unique way. None of the paths are better than the other. Each path is unique to the person on the path. We move to photo number 2A. In this image, I see a baby chick, which I think, which I then looked up the meaning of a chicken or a chick. The fact that it is a chick instead of an adult suggests that the issue I need to look at is in its early stages of development. Chicken symbolization is asking you to take the time for some internal evaluation. In other words, the chicken meaning reminds you that you must scratch the surface of your emotions to see what lies underneath. Therefore, you must ask yourself if you are responding to the circumstances around you from your heart, or on the other hand, is your head ruling and allowing things to spiral out of control. Whenever you find yourself in this place, chicken symbolism prompts you to take a step back. Moreover, this spirit animal inspires you to make sure that you are grounded in your heart. Only then can you approach your problem from a spiritual sense and see what your next step is, if any. What I understand from this is that I need to look deep into my heart to decide what exactly I want to do going forward on the endeavor of teaching a class together. My heart tells me that the best way going forward is to teach separately, so that we both can stand in our own power and come together at different times to collaborate or discuss what comes through in our respected modalities. Photo number 2B. In this crystal, I see a small image of an owl. The owl spirit animal represents the deep connection that you share with wisdom, good judgment, and knowledge. Like the owl, which is known for its sharp vision and keen observation, you also possess insight and intuition. I believe the owl came in today to remind me of this and that I have exactly what I need inside of myself, and there is no need to unhealthily attach onto another for validation. Photo number 3. In this image, I see a person standing in front of a waterfall with a light being or water spirit rising above the water. The person is listening to the water spirit, which is clearly infusing light into the throat chakra. This tells me it is imperative that I speak my truth around my true feelings or my wishes around the issue. Even if it is not her truth, I have to speak about what is right for me at this time. I feel like the water spirit is helping me to find the courage to do so. as in the past I have not spoken my truth around such issues in fear of the friendship ceasing and ultimately being abandoned. Photo number 4. In this image, I see myself holding a staff, sitting on the riverbank contemplating. I looked up the symbology meaning of a staff. The purpose of this study was to, and I'm just going to read you what it said. The purpose of this study was to analyze the symbolic meaning of the staff from an analytical, psychological perspective. The symbol of the staff may be seen as the world tree, as an axis connecting God and man. This is the driving force of individuation, which integrates human unconsciousness and consciousness while discovering and accepting the genuine self. Humans realize self through consciousness of the inner personality by constantly establishing a relationship with the inner world of unconsciousness. They desire to constantly communicate with God, and they want to live a symbolic life through transformation. As a spiritual guide, the staff is an archetype of the therapist. It also contains the meaning of the world tree praying for unity with God in the process of human personification. This study analyzed the staff that has transformed from alchemy to spirit, the staff that symbolizes the call of God in religious terms, a staff of the resurrected symbol that was reborn as the world tree, and the individuality realized through the symbol of the staff. The symbolic meaning of the staff as a spiritual guide is an indicator of individuation that is constantly reborn by transformation and reproduction. I think what this image is trying to tell me is that I must always seek guidance from the divine within and to trust what is coming through about my individuality. I need to beat to the rhythm of Robin's drum on this issue. Photo number 5. This image is very blurry, but there is definitely an image of a box. It's like being inside of a room. You're boxed in. I think it means don't put myself into a box, and maybe to look at all of my options. There is more than one way to skin a cat. Photo number 6. In this image, there looks to be an owl on a totem pole with a person pushing it down. I think what it is saying to me is that I am pushing away the gifts of wisdom and knowledge by not fully standing in my power. I'm pushing what I know to be true away. So that's what that part is saying. Now, photo number 7. In this image, there is what looks like a guardian angel hovering over a person in anguish, holding their head down. The person is very hard to see in this image. I feel like what it is saying in this image is that I am always being held by my angels and guides, even when I'm in the deepest of pain and grief. So what I take from all of this is that there is a need to acknowledge both myself and my friend, and that I need to realize that I hold all of the knowledge and wisdom inside of myself, that I should not deny myself this, or look to others for validation outside myself to push it away. I should also always look into my heart before embarking on doing a collaboration with another to see if this is what I want to do. Also, learn how to stand on my own 2 feet and dance in my own rhythm, while at the same time intertwine myself on the path of others. We all are on our own unique and separate paths, which can or cannot always be exactly the same. Allow each other to develop in their own unique individual way, and to always speak my truth, even if it's not what others want to always hear. Dancing to the beat of my own drum doesn't in any way make me selfish. I have more to offer the collective when I honor myself in this way. So that's what happens. That's how I worked through an issue that I was dealing with in my life by using the crystals. Now I just want to show you some more pictures of what I used in some different sessions with my clients, and just to give you a little bit more about like some crystal gazing and how this can be used to help a person. So the first photo that I'm showing you here is one that really perplexed me at first. What it actually looked like to me when I was looking at this was, it looked like the crystal was actually a spaceship with wings, kind of like our airplanes, with a being that is very much galactic in nature, instructing the ship as how to fly. And then what I got from it was that this person might possibly be working with galactic beings in the future and learning how to fly their spaceship craft. And I didn't really understand it until I actually did the session with the person, and this person's aspect on an Arcturian ship was actually to maneuver and move and fly the ship. And so it was one of the things. And so she was taught in her session, she was able to sit in the seat and learn how to actually fly the Arcturian light ship. So that was actually quite amazing, and how it came through in the crystal as well. The next crystal I was doing for a client, I was looking at the crystal, and what this looks like is if you look at the whole image, it looks like the crystal is basically a person that's jumping off from a cliff into the water. And so it's like almost like the crystal is urging this person to take a leap of faith and to just jump into and take a deep dive into her new life. And a whole new world is waiting for her. And for her just not to be afraid. And that she can just, if she just allows herself to let go and jump headfirst into the unknown, that her whole life could change in a very positive way. So that's what I saw in that crystal. Now in this photo was another client, and I found this very interesting. There's a few things going on with this crystal. First of all, the crystal is kind of like hovering over what looks like a waterfall. And okay, so there is a beautiful little, and then in the small corner, you can see like the small circle, there is a beautiful little West Highland white terrier next to the waterfall in the bottom left-hand corner. And when I looked up what a terrier type of dog, what they had to say, that there was actually a spiritual meaning behind it. And it says, when a terrier type of dog makes its presence known, you must persevere with your current project. It doesn't matter that you don't see any results from your hard work right now. The point is to stay committed to your goal with faith and courage. Your determination will pay off in the long term. And so that was happening in the crystal. And then the whole, it seemed like this crystal was like levitating or hovering over the waterfall. So I wanted to see what a waterfall represented. And it says, in Hinduism, water generally has a special place as it is considered to have spiritual cleansing powers and is sacred. The waterfall symbol in particular can mean that severe disappointment will make you wiser. And waterfalls often relate to a great release of emotion, rejuvenation, and renewal of spirit. And no matter how small it is, how small it was, a waterfall always amazes its viewers, being a splendid natural phenomenon and an enjoyable sight to everyone's eyes. Waterfalls symbolize the process of letting go, the process of cleansing, and the continuous flow of energy in life. So I felt like, because this crystal was hovering over the waterfall and we had the little doggy there, I said, this is what I kind of concluded for the person. I feel this whole image is guiding this person to allow the process of letting go of what no longer serves this person, its highest best, and to do this with the rejuvenation of renewal of a waterfall. Maybe sit near a waterfall and just allow it to help you discover what is in your life that no longer serves you, and then allow it to fall away. Allow the waterfall to wash it away along with your emotions around it. And then this person must persevere because of the little doggy. It says must persevere with her current project. Doesn't matter that she doesn't see any results from her hard work right now. The point is to stay committed to the goal and have faith and courage, and that her determination will pay off in the long run. So that's what I saw in that crystal. And that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit before we go, because I got one more photo about, it's got an animal in it. And so when I'm crystal gazing, a lot of times I will see animals in the water or in the picture or in the crystal, somehow in the thing. And so when you see animals when you're crystal gazing, I always look up to see what the spiritual meaning is of that, and it helps you kind of decipher what is going on in the crystal. So, and what they're trying to tell you. So we'll move on to the next photo. And in this image, there is a seal in the middle of a wave that is above the crystal, and it feels like the seal is using the crystal as a surfboard. In this case, seal symbolism is letting you know that it's time to pay close attention to your imagination and insight. In other words, seal meaning is asking you to be aware of your thoughts and your dreams. This spirit animal teaches that a lot of what you imagine generally has a strong basis in reality, no matter how far off it may seem. There is so much bubbling to the surface that wants to come out of you. Allow your crystals to inspire you and hold you as you ride the wave. The seal symbolism is bringing you a clear and distinct message that it is time for you to allow your creativity and your imagination to soar. Furthermore, it's now time to follow through on your dreams. And so that's what I saw in here. A seal riding the waves on a crystal surfboard. So that's what happens when we crystal gaze. So I'm going to take you to one last image, and this one is about, if you look at the image, you can see that there is literally light language that's coming out on the water. All around the crystal, there's just light language, symbology, and it's like written in the water. So I just found that quite interesting, that this person's crystal is covered in light language. I don't know what it means. I think that maybe all that one would do is to just sit and allow the codes that come out of the crystal. There isn't really anything else happening inside of it, to allow the codes and to come through. And so just immerse and imbibe and contemplate on the photograph. So this is how crystal gazing works. And you don't have to do it the way I do, like taking photographs of the images, although it is helpful, especially when you're doing it in water or you can see a lot more
when you step back after you take the image. But you can also do this like just crystal gaze. I spend a lot of time taking my crystals when I go swimming, and I go underneath the water and I crystal gaze. And you can also crystal gaze just anywhere, and using different lighting, like a candlelight might give you something different than if you're using like a light bulb behind you. Like different types of light, like daylight or different lights will give you different things. And just try and see what works for you. I also use this crystal gazing when I'm in the healing chambers, and when you're running 7th dimensional light infusion. You can also use the crystal to crystal gaze when you're in that energy and you're looking into your crystal. And we do that when we're running the Lemurian Pleiadian Starseed Circle, when we run the energy, and we look into the crystal for ourselves and for our for the person in our group. So the sky is the limit on how to crystal gaze. All you need to do is practice and just start doing it. Anyone can do it. It's not rocket scientist type stuff. It's very easy, and you can be very surprised at what you start seeing in your crystals.
I'm excited to share that I am now offering personal crystal and oracle card readings. These sessions are much like the collective humanity readings I share, but this time they're tailored just for you, bringing through the guidance, clarity, and messages that are meant to support your unique journey. Book your reading with Robin Nicole today by clicking the link in the description of this video.